How you do?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Forgive the intrusion. Tony, I want you to come home with me right now. Your mother is very upset.
All right, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
I need hardly say that this is a pitiable thing that's causing a lot of panic and pain for Mrs. Kirby and for myself, just as it is for you. I'm sorry, but I know you all understand.
Well, yes, but in a way, sir, no. Now, I'm not the kind of person that runs other people's lives, but, you know, fact is, Mr. Kirby, I don't think these young people have as much sense as you and I have.
Grandpa, please don't do this.
Oh, now, I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
Do you want me to do that for you, Miss Alice? No, thank you, Mother.
You've got quite a while before the train goes, Alice.
Yes, can you please send a cab to 761 Claremont? Right away, yes, thank you.
Alice.
Father.
Oh.
Are you coming, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, after last night, I suppose you think this family's kind of crazy, huh?
No, I would not say that, although I'm not accustomed to going out to eat and spending the night in jail.
Well, you have to remember, sir, that you came on the wrong night. Now, tonight, I'll bet you nothing will happen at all. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, the events of last night had nothing to do to convince Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement is a mistake.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you please marry me?
No, Tony. I know exactly what your father means and he's right.
No, he's not.
Alice, you are in love with this boy, and you're not marrying him because you don't think the families would get along.
Grandpa.
And maybe they wouldn't. But who's to say they're right and we're wrong?
Grandpa,
I know. But that's the way things, that we can all work this out. And what I feel most is that Tony is too nice a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes. Mixed up and unhappy, like you are.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I am a very happy man.
Oh, are you?
I certainly am.
Well, I don't think so. What do you think gives you your indigestion? Happiness? No, sir. You get it from spending most of your time doing things you don't want to do?
I never do anything I don't want to do.
Oh, yes, you do. Last night you told us that by the end of a week on Wall Street, why, you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep? It's my business. A man doesn't just give up his business.
Why not? You've got all the money you need. You can't take it with you.
Well, it's a very easy thing for you to say, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I've spent my whole life building up my business.
Oh, what's it got you? Same kind of mail every morning. Same kind of deals. Same kind of meetings. Same dinners at night. Same indigestion. Where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? I'm sure that you wanted more than that when you first started out. We don't have much time left, you know, any of us.
So what do you think I should do? Live life the way you do and do nothing?
Well, I do have a lot of fun. Time enough for everything. Read, talk, go to the zoo now and then, practice my darts, even have time to notice when spring comes around. Yeah. But I don't see anybody I don't want to see. And I don't spend 6 hours every day doing things I don't want to have 1 hour to do something I like. See?
Yes, I do see. And that's a very dangerous philosophy. It's anti-American. and it's one of the reasons why I am standing opposed to this marriage agreement. I don't want Tony to be influenced by this.
What's the matter with it, Father?
What's the matter with it? It's communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
I certainly did. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. There was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Tony, don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, I read those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No! How dare you read those letters? How dare you?
I think it's wonderful, Mr. Kirby. Did you wear tights?
Certainly not. The whole thing is absurd. I was 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18, you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Wow.
And at 21, you ran away from home because Grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white.
I may have had some youthful ideas when I was young, but thank God, my father knocked them out of me. He took me into the business and I forgot all about that.
Well, not entirely. He still has a saxophone in the back of his clothes closet.
There he is, huh?
We'll talk about this later.
No, I want to talk about it now. Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. And I'm never going back to that office. I've always hated it. And I'm getting out while there's still time.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not making your mistake. I'm clearing out.
Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer, but at least it'll be something I want to do.
Oh, that must be the cat.
Tell him to wait a minute, will you, Ed?
Oh, Grandpa.
Now, give me a moment, Alice. Mr. Kirby, what Tony is trying to say is something I think that you and I, well, we were like that when we were his age. And I think if you listen closely enough, why, you'll hear yourself saying the same thing to your father 25 years ago. And we all did, and we were right. I wonder if we realized when we were young that we would get what we eventually got. I mean to tell you, all those plans. I mean, what happens to them? There's only a handful of the lucky ones who can say that they even came close to having that. So, I'll tell you, Mr. Kirby, if I were you, before they clean out that closet, I'd get in a few more good hours on that saxophone.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Before I make the releases, how many will there be for dinner?
Your Highness, let me introduce to you Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How do you do? Before I make the releases, how many for dinner?
Oh, I'd make quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can't ever tell.
Oh, good. That Tsar always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the blintzes.
Mr. Vanderhoff, who did you say that was?
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina, she's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
Speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
How about it, Father? Are we staying for dinner?
Oh, please, Mr. Kirby, we have all that stuff out there that we were going to have last night. Tonight.
Looks like a pretty fine dinner, Mr. Kirby, and it'll give the family a chance to get acquainted. Why not stay?
How about it, Father?
Well, if you'd like to, Tony, I'd like to very much.
Now, only Alice would get that cab sent away, Mr. Vanderhoff.
What do you say, Alice? It looks like a pretty good crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
I'm staying, Alice. I think the families ought to get to know each other better, don't you?
Oh, Mr. Kirby. Tony. Oh, Tony. Oh, Grandpa, you're wonderful.
Oh, I've been telling you that for years.
How about we go to the office, Mrs. Sycamore? We've got stick tape to do.
I better tell that cow.
There's a letter for you, Grandpa. It was in the icebox.
The government. Oh, brother.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Kirby?
United States government apologizes. I don't owe him a nickel. Seems I died 8 years ago.
What do you mean, Grandpa?
Well, remember Charlie the Milkman? Buried under my name?
Yes.
Well, I just told them they made a mistake. That I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr. They're very sorry, and I might even get a refund.
Oh, Grandpa, you old crook.
Sure.
Mr. Vanderhump, can you explain to me how you managed to escape the income tax?
My friends, we're going to eat.
Hello there!
How do you do?
I'm fine, just fine. Glad to see you.
What has happened?
He's relaxing. That's right, Ed, play something.
Tina, we'll be ready in a minute. Please, come, sit down. Oh, yes, come sit down, Mr. Kirby.
Yes, yes, I'm coming.
Oh, Elsie, stop dancing. Come to dinner. Come on. Let's go. Oh. You have to be careful of your indigestion, Mr. Kirby.
Nonsense. I have no indigestion.
How are the Adirondacks, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, you shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
Tonight you really like Russian food.
Quiet, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, here we are again. We want to say thanks once more for everything you've done for us. Things seem to be going along fine. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks like they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePenna's fault, not yours. We've all got our health, and as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you.
I received a letter from my friend in Siberia. He is a straight again.